Here's a scouting report on Cameron Kinley, because I'm just curious if he was going to be able to make an NFL roster. This is a scout from the last couple of years that they had faced the Naval Academy. Good size and length, above average athlete with light quickness, balance, uses size, length, and run support. Solid wrap-up tackler. Let's see. Allows separation on passing routes. Lacks quickness laterally inside routes. Gets off balance when press coverage. The scout said had a chance to make the roster. Good size, probably a safety. But that's the scouting report. We started to wonder about him. And is he more valuable, too valuable to the Naval Academy? Because he's in informational warfare. That's what his specialty is here. Because if there's a rule in place that allows you to make an exception, an exemption, and he still serves his military commitment, then what are we missing here? He gave the commencement speech. He's the team captain. Let's see. What do we have? Pete in Virginia. Hi, Pete. What's on your mind today? Hey, Pete.
Real quick. You're saying it right there. This young man, I'm a Tampa Bay fan, and I would absolutely love to have him on our roster, that leadership. But this man is a product of his own success, and he is the best thing coming out of the Naval Academy, president of the class, captain of the football team, gives the commencement speech. There's no way the Navy is letting him go.
Yeah, that's
it's just he's a.
Yeah, thank you, Pete. That's what we're starting to think. Is he that valuable? Where you go, hey, we got bigger issues here. We got life and death issues here. Not can you help, Tom Brady get another Super Bowl ring. Mark in Oklahoma. Hey, Mark.
Hey, DP. How you guys doing?
Good, sir.
Good. Hey, yeah, this Cameron Kinley situation got me scratching my head, too. It's really interesting. But the first thought that I had after listening to his interview, and what a sharp guy he sounds like, if I'm a fairly high-profile football recruit and I'm considering one of the service academies to go play, where I'm not going now is the Naval Academy. They may have shot themselves in the foot with this PR. So
yeah,
that's,
I think it's a fair point. And we checked. The Air Force Academy has 3 graduates now pending approval. Imagine your approval is coming from the Secretary of Defense, and there's no appeal process. When they say yes or they say no. Tommy in Alabama. Hi, Tommy. What's on your mind today?
Hey, bud.
Hey.
Hey, I have actually have a different take on this. I do not believe that it is because the Navy believes that he is, so important for everything. Because again, that would be basically saying that the 3 guys from Air Force and the 1 from the Army, and I know of countless others, track and field athletes, basketball players that have been given this. I honestly believe that this is because we have, as Cameron kept repeating, an acting director right now, and I believe that this guy just doesn't know his head from a hole in the ground, and he does not understand exactly what's going on. And I believe that your show and this interview, I would bet the farm that eventually this gets overturned. Even though there's not an appeals process, someone's going to get in his ear because of this interview, and I would almost guarantee that he's going to be allowed to pursue his football.
Well, thanks for the phone call, Tommy. That's why he came on, because he's trying to force the issue a little bit, because he has no appeal process. So this has to be public sentiment. And we've reached out to everybody. 24 hours ago, we knew we were going to have him on. We reached out to the Secretary of Defense. We reached out to the White House. We reached out to Naval Academy, the Department of Defense, just to see if there was going to be any response. We got 0 responses on this. Brad in North Carolina. Hi, Brad.
Hey, ADP. I just want to kind of echo what that guy's sentiments were. I kind of caught half of his while I was on the phone with Marvin. But since the interview, I've called both of my U.S. senators, and I would encourage this audience. We see how passionate this audience is when it comes to an Emmy Award. But something this serious, pick up the phone, call the U.S. Capitol switchboard, and talk to your senators. That's how we'll get something done.
All right. Well, thank you, Brad. Look, I'm not advocating either side other than if you have a rule in place and you've allowed others. Now, they're not going to tell me they don't owe me anything. But in the past, they have 5 years ago, the Secretary of Defense called in. We had him in studio. So it's happened before, and they're not going to tell me, and they won't even tell Cameron, maybe you're too valuable to lose. That you're here, it's important, you're bright, you gave the commencement speech, you're the captain. We need your leadership here, not as a fifth defensive back with the Buccaneers. I understand that. I just feel bad for him that he's got a chance to play for the Buccaneers, at least try out for the Buccaneers. The other team was the Chiefs. So this isn't just, the dregs of the NFL. He's got a chance, and maybe it's a small chance. He just wants the chance. You get this opportunity once, and that's it. I remember Air Force Academy had a defensive lineman, Chad Hennings. And he went to the Cowboys eventually. Roger Staubach famously was in the Naval Academy and then came out. He had won a Heisman Trophy, but he had a military commitment, came out and still made the Hall of Fame. I think he was a rookie at age 28. I mean, if you get a chance, realize your dreams, great. I hope you get that opportunity. But the fact that you get no answer, there's no appeal process whatsoever. It'd be a little bit frustrating, but I do understand that this isn't where you ask your mom and dad, hey, I want to stay out late. No, you can't. Do I have an appeals process? No. I mean, they follow you down the hallway, as my son would, going, why? Why? Can you just tell me why? The Naval Academy doesn't have to tell you why. Michael in Colorado. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Dan. Hey, fellas. I was in the Air Force 8 years, and, when you come out of one of the service academies, you're not trained to do your job yet. This young man has been assigned a job, but he's going to spend the next year to 18 months getting trained to do that. Out of the academy, you just know how to read and write and do whatever you do getting out of college and march and understand the military. So it's not like they've invested their training into his official job at this point.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for the phone call, Michael. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this is new to me, but that's why, I have people on or I'm able to ask these questions. I don't pretend to know the answers. I just ask the questions here. Keith in North Carolina. Hi, Keith.
Hey, Dan. First time, long time, 6'4", 250. For one thing, this gentleman, to piggyback on another caller, he wasn't recruited to the Naval Academy to play football. He went to the Navy to become a commissioned officer after 4 years at the Naval Academy, and that's what his contract says, and that's what primarily the Navy expects. Anything about him going out and playing football is, a gift from the Navy, which I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but they have invested a lot of time, training, and money in this gentleman. He's a valedictorian of his class.
Yeah.
They're looking at him being a future leader, probably an admiral. They can't take a chance of him getting seriously injured over the next couple of years playing football and losing out on him.
And a lot of people agree with you, Keith. A lot of email agree with you. Understand that. What I'm looking at this from the surface of so far you've done everything that the Naval Academy would want you to do, to be, and that is a person and also as a football player. Now, do they recruit players to play football at the Naval Academy? Yes, they do. Not everybody was recruited there to be an officer. You're recruited. We know people who are recruited. They need you to play football. John in Florida. John, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dan. Enjoying your show. I know a little bit about the military and academy grads going to sports venues right out of the chute. This individual was already released by the Naval Academy to go do the football. And then the acting Secretary of the Navy decided to quash that. His assignment is not one that you would say is geared towards making him a future admiral. It's just a basic assignment. There's plenty of people that can do that assignment. So at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, why is this acting Secretary of the Navy so out of step with everybody else?
Well,
and the answer is they're out of step with everybody else.
Well, John, he's an informational hardware expert. Now, I don't know what that means. It certainly sounds important. Here is a valedictorian. Team captain gave the commencement speech. So what am I, it sounds important, but what am I missing?
A lot of those jobs sound important, but there's a lot of people who can do those jobs.
Okay.
Now, if you were going to tell me he was going to be an aide to some admiral, then I'd say his chances of promotion and his career path is going to be quite a bit higher trajectory than what he's on right now. Right now, he's going in as an ensign. He's going to get a basic job that, a lot of them sound good. I mean, look at the ones that are doing nuclear, submarine duty and things like that. You can't really go by the job title.
Okay.
You got to ask yourself, who's this reporting chain? Is he working for an admiral? Is he working for somebody much lower in the food chain? But honestly, it doesn't sound to me like the acting Secretary of the Navy made a good decision.
John, let me interrupt you. Seton had a question for you.
Why would they give the valedictorian of the class a job lots of people can do?
Well, they give lots of people jobs that lots of people can do. I mean, it's a pretty large force, so you have to think about it in terms of they're not dependent on one individual. I mean,
yeah, but I would be curious, and thank you, John, for the information. I don't know what valedictorians normally do when they graduate from the Naval Academy, but I don't know if you're the valedictorian and all of a sudden you're doing, menial task that everybody else can do. That would be surprising here. Yes,
There's only one of those every year.
Yes, there is.
Whereas there's lots of people that can do lots of jobs.